former president Donald Trump released his sneaker. We sold the first pair for $9,000.
Culture Kicks, global media and sneaker company with over 1 million followers across all social platforms. It has created one of the largest sneaker cultures in the world.
5.8 last year, about to do lifetime 10 mil in a few months. So our landlord, we said, just so you know, it's going to be the biggest company that you ever put in here, and I'm going to come for Nike. We had some hardships as well. Got robbed $70,000 in the middle of the night in between that 1.7 to 5.8 million growth. There's people that have thrown cash at us, and it's not just to like flex or whatever. Long term, again, you don't know what their goals are. Like,
can't sell your soul.
That's what we did over December. That's how we hit our 1.5 mil. Because
Okay. With that being said, Culture Kicks. Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. Guys, before we get into this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, blah, 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 all the fucking bullshit, okay?
Wow.
I know.
What an intro.
Just quick to it. Straight to it.
Straight to
Our
it.
editor was like, bro, you guys gotta fucking get to it way faster. So that's why I did that. Anyways.
Nothing else?
No, that's it.
Guys, shout out to our sponsor today, Rock and Roll Tequila. Look at this. Cristalino, okay? Gonna keep us nice and warm today on this episode, all right? Hit the description. $5 off any order. Use code MBH, all right?
I like that.
We're gonna have a nice shot.
Yeah.
Get this thing
Let's
started,
do it. Let's do it, boys.
boys,
I know it's a bit early.
to longevity.
Rock and Roll Tequila. Let's go, baby.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Bang.
here we go.
Let's
Down
go.
the hatchet.
There you go.
That's smooth. That's actually very nice. Wow.
Very
Okay.
smooth.
No
like
kick
it.
either. No
gonna
kick.
get us in the zone.
Guys, we gotta get straight to it. First and foremost, appreciate you guys coming out. It was literally a message like, hey, bro, we gotta do this pod. You're like, all right, we're flying out. And we're flying out the fucking whole team here. I feel like we have the
There's
Amazon
a
warehouse
squad
in
in
here.
here right now. I love it, though. I love it.
But for context, before we get into it, we met these boys about a year ago, we were saying, at VCon. And it was literally like me and Ernesto were walking through Indianapolis Colts Stadium. And these boys stopped and was like, hey, we've seen your podcast before, whatever. And we got chatting, gave each other the follows and whatnot, and just kind of been in contact and watching them grow. And when I say grow, like the growth has been fucking significant. And with that being said, Culture Kicks. What's
go,
up,
guys.
boys?
How you guys?
Alex, Chase.
Let's go.
What's up, gents?
Rock
Appreciate
and
you
roll
guys.
Tequila, though, man. That was good. It's
Okay,
like
you
I was-
started.
It's like we were back at the bar last night. Never left.
We got you, boys. We'll hook you boys up.
I think we want to start. We want to start with your guys' story, like how you got here. I know, like I'm saying, in the year that we've been in contact, the growth has been crazy. But how the hell did Culture Kicks start? How did you guys? How did it conceptualize? Give us the rundown, because I don't think, and you let me know, I don't think anyone has ever heard the story. You guys haven't really told it.
Yeah,
We
not
do-
really.
We do keep it under wraps, I would say, a little bit.
Okay.
We do have behind the scenes documentary, of course, building for the long term
Nice.
story.
Yep.
But I mean, really, if you just break it down, two kids that quit their corporate jobs, just kind of like selling sneakers on the side, basically to make enough money. In between sort of like the rat race and like opening the computer 9 to 5. Chase and I actually, we met on a Facebook marketplace. A lot of people don't know.
Sick.
So we were selling Jordans, like literally just met one day in an Applebee's parking lot, pulled up. I still to this day tell him that I actually sold the Jordans to him, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically like we're just not fulfilled, you know, from like opening the computer every single day. A lot of what entrepreneurs go through today.
Yeah.
And it was my corporate job with Foot Locker actually out of school. And I was just running total allocations for North America. And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
How
So-
old were you guys when you guys both said no more corporate?
No more corporate. What was that, 2022?
Yeah, I would say 2022.
I was 26.
Okay.
28 now.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It's a big
I was, like,
decision at that
24,
age.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mid-20s.
Dude, my parents were like, when I told them, I was like, hey, I think I'm going to quit my job because I'm making, way more money selling sneakers than, my corporate job. They're just like, what the fuck? What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Like,
People don't get it.
401k, you're going to miss out on company car, all this shit. And I was just like, no, this is what we got to do.
So basically, this kid is running around. I see him, I think it was December of 2022, right? Or 21?
21, yeah.
So December of 2021, He sells 350 cool gray 11s, literally just all over. Like, we can literally pick up the picture right now, all over the Philadelphia region. Goes into the back stores of like Foot Locker, Snipes. The managers are just taking care of our guy, and he's just selling them. People are pulling up in casino parking lots, and I'm like, God damn! Like, he literally just made 30K in everyone's face in 1 month.
And this
So I'm
is
like,
just Facebook Marketplace.
This was when we actually were on Instagram. Like
Okay,
I
so you
just
started
created the
Instagram.
Culture Kicks Instagram.
Okay.
That was like probably the first big like post where it like got a lot of traction and like everyone in Philly was hitting my line. Like,
But I want to go
need
back
this
quickly
pair
to the
of shoes.
Applebee's parking lot for a second.
sure. Yeah.
Because, okay, so you guys meet, you sell him a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
But how do you like keep in touch? And what's the timeline from Applebee's to like, okay, let's try this thing. Let's create
sure.
this brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like he did really good business, right? Like he was selling me these shoes. It was like a 6-pack of like Jordan 1s, and it was just always good business, good communication, and it was always like upfront. And then like, you know, after like 6 months of just like constantly doing business together, because he was at another store, I was just like, dude, this guy, like, you know, he's got what it takes to like, you know, really make this business like go to the next level. So I offered him basically a partnership with Culture Kicks. And right before I was going to quit my job and everything, I'm like, I need someone who's going to see this out and help me as I keep growing this.
And when you're building the partnership,
Yeah.
how are you guys dividing up the role, and how do you know that you're not going to bring the same value to the table? It's important. You know, a lot of
sure.
people out
Risk.
there building partnerships, right? Sometimes they're like, okay, is this person going to do the same job as me?
Exactly,
Do I
yeah.
need them, or are they bringing something different to the table?
So we get this question a lot too, like, how'd you find your partner? I'm sure you guys
Of
get
course,
it as
all the
well.
time, all the time.
You have to kind of take that initial leap of faith, like literally a leap of faith. Say that again. And we actually went, what was it called? Founding Fathers in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And
Yep,
just
Founding
sat down
Fathers.
and like actually put out how we're gonna run this entire business. And I'm like, bro, like I promise if you bet on me, this will be the best bet you ever made in your
So
entire
that's
life.
the kind of conversation you're having, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Amazing.
because he has this side page called Culture Kicks on the side that he's selling on while working at a pharmaceutical company. And then I'm like, let's turn this into a real behemoth, right?
Yes.
Basically, we scale together, we join forces, we make the LLC March of 2022.
Okay.
Start just kind of like really upscaling all of our clientele around Philly, just kind of fast forwarding here. Start doing pop-up like sneaker events, literally on the four-ways in like West Philadelphia. Literally just
Come
people
on.
Yeah.
coming
Pulling up
by,
on the street.
Pull up on the street, bro.
pull up right
pull
on
up
the
on the
street.
street. These
Wow.
are things like people don't even know about our entire company. DeAndre Swift with the Philadelphia Eagles,
Yeah.
his dad owns a gym in Philadelphia. We basically pitched to him that we could just sell 100, 200 shoes out of his gym, like sold out the first day ever. We're like, damn, let's make like t-shirts the next time. Did it again, sold out the t-shirts, sold out all the shoes. People are coming all over the place. Now we had maybe 7, 8K followers on Instagram. We're like, all right, well, we're doing 50K a month. Let's try it and see if we can like launch a website. Keep going. 2022 in the summer, at the end of the summer, I think, launched our first ever website. I started running Facebook, Instagram ads, really trying to scale the business, just totally internationally and domestic.
Okay.
Started waking up 4, 5, 6 orders. Like, damn, that's pretty good.
Of course.
Made a video after one weekend. I remember, like in August, like, damn, we just sold like 50 orders, guys, in one weekend. Let's go.
Okay, so then, so you guys come together. You guys are building. Is there anyone else involved at that point?
Jordan, who runs our entire media.
Okay.
And then actually my little sister, who was at school at the time in Philadelphia, and she was just coming and packing boxes.
Get the
Literally
family
just, like,
involved.
packed
Family, hell
Of
yeah.
course.
It was
Okay,
family ties for sure. for
Yes,
everything.
yes. So at the beginning, in terms of the marketing, you said you were doing about 50K a month with
50K a month.
with 7,000 or 8,000 followers.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Out of our basement. We were in Philly at
So-
that time. So
Yeah.
So what do you attest that to? What was working at that point?
It's just hustle, man. Like, I literally tell them all the time. We went to a semi-pro lacrosse game. I like got so burned. I like didn't bring sunscreen or whatever. And we like rented a U-Haul like minivan thing. We literally, to this day remember, like we fought for 42 Instagram followers, like as they walked in and
Like,
out
you're
of the
saying
door.
follow us right now.
Follow us right now,
Yeah,
my
get
God.
right
I'm
on the
taking,
phone.
like,
And
literally
look,
like
this is
Philadelphia
important.
ice cream
Yeah.
owner trucks and shit.
This is
you
important
know?
because it's clear that you guys both put your ego aside to build this company.
for sure.
Like
People are
nobody with an
idiots.
ego is out there like, yo, please follow me. Yo, you're not leaving until you follow this Instagram right now, right? So is it a mix of that and the events? Because I'm actually picturing like someone younger that wants to start a company like this. Of
course.
Right? Like what were the things you were attacking? Was it in person? Was it a lot of social? Was it a mix of both?
I would say boots on the ground in
Yeah.
person. Like,
Because that's the stuff people
no
won't
event
do.
is too small for
Yeah,
you.
for
Yeah.
sure.
No event is too small.
You literally do have to put your ego aside, and like literally any opportunity that would come, we would just take it, no matter what it was. And then honestly too with the socials, you know what I mean? Like making sure that you're constantly posting. We were doing a lot of story sales, so that's what we called them. Like Thursday night story sales, we get like 60 pairs of shoes and just post on the story rapidly, and then just answer DMs as they came in and fulfill orders.
Because that's the first thing that you guys did, like the first series.
Yeah.
That really blew up.
That like blow up to like get us to that 50K a month.
Okay.
And honestly, like we would tell people like, hey, if you shout us out on your story, we'll give you like an extra $20 off
So
your next
important to
purchase.
look at it that way. You
And
gotta
so
look
is-
at it that way.
And
And a free
and what
tee.
kind of and for perspective for people listening, what kind of hours are you guys clocking in at this point? Like let's say daily.
Still catching up on sleep.
Guys hasn't slept in a month.
Yeah.
I would say honestly, like I was waking up, 7:30, 8, working out a little bit if I had time, answering DMs right away, talking to him. We were constantly on the phone, and then probably, bro, not going to bed till some of those story sales were like 10 p.m. And we're still answering as the DMs would come in for the orders, answering those DMs, making sure that we could ship them out the next day. So, bro, like literally 8 to 10.
No, we talk about that all the time because like there's always that question like, oh, you should be balanced, And
Yeah.
I feel like we always say this. There's gonna be phases in your career that there's no balance at all, and you're doing it so that you can actually achieve balance one day.
Exactly.
Right. So talk about that. Talk about maybe you had some rough times during that time because I know me and him did too mentally because you're like, oh, when is this part gonna stop?
For sure.
When is this 20-hour work day gonna stop? Right.
It's still going.
Of course, it's still going, but things
Yeah.
change a
But
bit,
yeah,
right? You
for
get a
sure.
little bit more help here. You get some
Yep.
more. So what kept you going through that time?
Yeah.
I would just say you got to be like married to the game at the end of the day. Like if you're really tracking hours, then you might have to evaluate like what you're really doing it
Facts.
for.
Then go back to corporate.
Exactly.
They'll track it for you.
And like the easiest thing is to like really sit back and think about what you want to accomplish, right? What do you want to accomplish with this brand? What do you want to accomplish with this business? Why do you get up every single day?
Yeah.
Of course, like fitness is a huge thing for all of us entrepreneurs, like waking up 5:30 a.m. and just like clearing your head before
Yep.
the 10, 20 fires that are going to arise every day. I like to say like keep the fires burning, right?
Yep.
There's always going to be a fire going on. You just got to look at it and know that it's going to keep burning, and it's not that big of an issue right now because like your goals and your dreams are more important.
But you mentioned, you said when you asked you about the hours, you said you have to ask yourself, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
When you guys started Culture Kicks and decided to like, okay, this is it now. Like, did you have an idea? Was there like because also sometimes it may be a little bit different, but for you guys, what was it? Like, was there a thing where you said we are creating this company so that we can achieve X?
Yeah.
We've said since the beginning, our first ever, and I'll get into it in a little bit, our first ever landlord, we said, just so you know, it's going to be the biggest company that you ever put in here, and I'm going to come for Phil Knight and Nike. So I want you to remember.
Nice.
So then you gotta work when you say that.
Right.
Exactly. You gotta work.
And we are coming.
Yeah.
We actually have our first ever sneaker here today to show you guys, but we
Come
still
on.
have 2 years to catch you up on.
Okay.
before we get to
Okay.
that
Of
fun
course.
story.
For sure.
That definitely like the Phil Knight book, The Shoe Dog.
Yeah.
I remember reading that like maybe 6 months into Culture Kicks, like of me like starting the brand on Instagram and everything, and that like drew a lot of inspiration of like, okay, this was the basically 30-year plan of how Nike was originated. He went from selling Tigers, which was a random like company out in China, sneakers, to where Nike is now, and just looking at that path, I was like, all right, if we can logically do this, time this up correctly, do what we need to do, work hard, put in those hours, like we can be the next Nike. Like who's holding us
Damn,
back?
I fucking rate that, bro. I rate
It's not
that.
as hard as you think.
I rate
You gotta
that.
think big, bro.
You have to.
You have to. Any kind
Absolutely.
of limitations, it's only worse for you guys. And to put it out there, like you said it to that guy, when we do that all the time because we know the pressure that comes with it.
course.
We're like, yo,
Right.
we just said that. And
Can't be
people heard
slicking on
that.
your ass,
It's on the internet now. People can go back. So it's better you use that as kind of motivation. We always said that use socials, use your YouTube to put it out there. And you have to after. You kind of
course.
have to make the move, right? So I want to kind of go back and your last year of growth. Just
Yeah.
because like that's been huge, right? So
Sure.
we met at VCon last year.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And I'm gonna actually say your followers now on these socials, which is crazy. Do you remember what you were at when we met?
It's about like 23K.
I told you. That's what I was telling you. I'm like, I think they were like 20, 30K when we had
Yeah.
met you guys.
Okay, so now I'm gonna read out your stats now. All right.
Sure.
Instagram followers just close to 300,000 by this episode. By the time this episode airs, you'll be over that for sure. 300,000 followers. TikTok followers, 850,000 plus.
Boom. Love it.
YouTube subs, 240,000 plus. What are we doing here, boys? What happened? What happened?
Pretty good.
What,
pushing content,
what
brother.
changed, right? Like,
Yeah.
what changed in terms of the strategy? Because for sure something changed, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, and talk to us about, you know, maybe things that you were trying in the past that didn't work, that you said goodbye
God.
to. Things that things that you just introduced that you're like, okay, this is something we got to double down on,
Yep.
right? Very interested to hear that.
Yeah, so I would say going into probably the holidays of last year is when it really started to boom. I was literally posting things like sneaker releases this week, and we were getting like 6-7K views, you know? I was
Yeah.
like, damn, all right, we're building towards 10K views. I don't even know some of the collaborations that we did and just like random buyouts with people. It wasn't
Right.
working.
Okay.
All of a sudden, we go to a sneaker con in Fort Lauderdale, and basically Chase just kind of like sets up a thing that says like we buy everything in the back, and like starts kind of just buying a lot of shoes. Doesn't seem like anyone else there has as much cash as we brought, 50 to 100K.
Okay.
We're able to last the entire day as far as buying. We're like, why don't we just try posting one of these, like, and actually showing people like all the real raw content behind the scenes, like,
Of you buying.
not
Negotiating,
edited,
buy, sell,
not
trade.
staged, nothing.
Okay.
Literally just Chase talking to somebody, trying to work out a deal, and like give them the raw everything. You know what I mean? I think we posted it. I don't really know the first platform that we posted it on, but I just remember it gained traction like fire.
Yeah.
And from there, yeah, take it from here.
I was gonna say it was like a little right before that. It was actually in December. LA got
Yeah.
Soul, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a video of that went viral. It was like our first video that ever went viral on TikTok. It was a girl who was selling me a pair of shoes, like a used pair of shoes, beat up, like beaters. And I was looking at it, and inside the shoe there was a like maggot in the shoe. And this is like live, and I forgot I was on camera low key, so I'm like giving a weird face, like, you know, reacting like you would if you saw something like that in a shoe. And that just went nuked. Like,
Yeah.
million followers, BR Kicks, which is like a massive
Yep, yep.
Instagram page, hit us
Yep.
up. But yeah, honestly, like when that happened, we just started realizing, okay, our social media team was like, let's double down on just doing all of this type of content, right?
Yep.
Just like they want to see the raw, me just buying and selling shoes, honestly, just buying shoes. And then that kind of happened in January when you're talking about Fort Lauderdale, where we set up a table, we buy everything. So it just kind of would attract people to come to the table.
Yeah.
And then eventually over time, like they've just heard about like that we also just buy all the shoes.
I think
So-
that's important.
Yeah.
By the way, these guys will literally fucking, you walk up to them, they'll buy anything. Literally.
anything.
I've watched all the videos, so I know you guys are buying crazy shit. We'll get to that. But I think that's important, like, for anybody listening, is like, you guys tried different things, but
So many
once you
different things.
found the piece of content that worked, bro, pour gasoline on the flame. Like, just
Literally.
let it fly.
It was probably the 30th or 40th variety of content that we actually put out. And
There
then
you
again,
go.
he goes, I think there's a bug in there. Nukes.
yeah.
Wait, did you buy those?
so not everything, not everything.
Everything except shit with bugs in it and
Correct.
whatever. Shit that's
And
moldy.
now, fast forward to today, we're sitting in a content studio similar to this and actually writing out things and activations that we think will go viral. So we're like, yo, what if we like make like a water test where like you have to like pour water in the shoe, and like if it like seeps through the sole, then it's
Yeah.
like fake. And if it doesn't, it's not
True.
fake. And then sure enough, we go to the next show, he does it. I don't know, 100 million plus views, BR Kicks reposting it.
Well, these are
everyone,
things that have never
World
been
Star.
done before. Like you're
Yeah.
looking around and you're like, okay, this series or this kind of content never been done before.
But I also
Right,
think
exactly.
I also think the reason it goes crazy, and like again, you guys can look at it on social media. Like I'm talking like TikTok, 30 million views, 20 million views, 15.7, like crazy. I think the reason it hits those numbers, if I had to guess, is the authenticity. Right? We're
sure.
talking about like social media where everything is so fucking fake nowadays.
Yeah.
Where it's like, regardless of whatever it is, as long as people are watching it and saying like, oh, this is real. Like whatever's happening here is like legitimately happening. I have to watch it.
Exactly. It's just been organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember when we would have those meetings and we'd talk about it, and they're just like, well, should we do this? Should we do that? And it's also just like, just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like that's literally what got us to where we were. We just doubled down on the content. We're posting 3 times a day on TikTok.
Nice.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Instagram, YouTube Shorts 3 times a day. So like we just needed more ammunition.
Yeah.
And like it's great because every single short is different, right? You have a different customer who's coming in. They're probably selling a different shoe. So like it gives you that, you know, uniqueness every single
New
time.
episode.
It's like a new episode every single time.
Yep.
And,
And
I,
then- yeah,
I want to quickly, because I'm looking and I'm saying, I was saying to you guys earlier off cam, like I go to the comments. When I see like something viral, like I want to see what people think about it, right?
Yeah.
Is it viral because they like it? They hate it? Is it split? Like, what is it? And I think majority of the stuff, like I would say, if I had to guess, 80 to 90% of the stuff is like people are just loving it. Like they just can't believe how like raw and organic it is. There are 10% though of people saying staged.
Oh, for
Staged.
sure. Classic.
Especially for the big ones. Like there's
Yeah.
one in particular was 30K or zero.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Bro, I just clear the air for me.
Yeah.
Real or staged?
That shit's real, bro.
Damn,
Everything we do,
that's
literally
crazy.
every
Yeah.
single coin flip we've done.
You're
That's
a-
what,
bro.
bro. Compared to other like buy, sell, trade people, right? Like they'll do these coin flips for like 10, 20 bucks, or
Yeah.
like you said, it's staged. Like we're going crazy, 0 to 1600, 0 to 30K.
That's why
Bro.
they can't believe it, bro.
Do you
Literally.
understand? Like, bro, I watched that. Okay, and here's the thing. So I watched it first, and I was like, these guys are demons, first of all. That's like, bro, to do that is insane.
Yeah.
But then when I seen the reaction, how happy you were when you won,
Yeah, for
free,
sure.
I'm like, that can't be staged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I hit the comments, and obviously it's so insane that people, like I can understand why people have a hard time believing that.
Right.
Again, going back to the fact that a lot of things are fake on social media.
For sure.
Right. So, bro, to clear the air,
but
that's
like,
insane.
even take this in, for example, like we were doing the $1,000 giveaway.
yeah.
We did about like 35, 40 of those
Yeah.
in 3 months.
Yeah.
And again, the same kind of thing. Comments were like, "Oh, this is staged. This is fake."
No, 100. But bro, we're talking 30,000 or nothing, bro.
Yeah, but
like
again,
in
like-
one shot, bro.
But I would look at it and be like, "Oh, that's the reason it got." I would say it's real.
Me too.
Yeah,
me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, I always like I check the comments for that reason,
That's the
and I can't
haters,
believe
bro.
it.
That's just the
But I think you're being
haters.
generous
Yeah.
saying 80, 90% because it's probably 50-50. or
No, but
like
take it.
negative
Who
and
cares?
positive.
That's the
No,
engagement.
on that-
we need that.
on
We
that
need the war.
on that
You need
post
the war,
on that
bro.
post it was 90% people saying this is fake.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
again, it's
sure.
hard to believe.
But we've done, if you actually look down deep, like we've done Rolexes, like 0 or 10,000. We've done like Red October's 3,000, 0. And it's like, it's getting to the point now. I tell him all the time, he doesn't see this because I sit next to him. Like, people literally, once they see his face at these shows, like look like they hit like a Harry Potter brick wall.
Yeah.
Literally, like, they just like, oh my God. Like I'm telling you, he's breaking necks out here.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, then they get in the line. In Australia, just 3 weeks ago, we were there, 4-hour line to meet him. 4-hour
Insane.
line.
Insane, bro.
And
That's
you get to the
amazing.
front, and it's like the first 2 people asked for us to autograph like a US dollar bill for them. And then the
Crazy.
other guy waited like an hour and a half and just wanted a picture.
But it's so important to put your face behind your brand. That's why. You
But-
probably know some guys out there that have the same kind of brand in the same kind of industry. They just don't show their face,
Exactly.
maybe. And guess what? They're missing out on 80% of the market because now the people are coming to you guys, not because you guys maybe have the best sneakers
Right.
Yeah,
or the best
exactly.
prices.
Not at all.
No, I want to meet you guys.
Which is also what's contributing, right, to like such a viral looking person that did that 30,000 or 0. He had like the most insane hair. Fit,
Yeah,
everything. He knew he was gonna go viral if he did that.
course.
So like, fuck, like maybe it was worth 10K to him that he spent
Of
on
course.
it.
So
But,
the- so
like,
the 30,000
it's worth
one-
it for him to test it.
Of
And
course. And people are probably coming just to be on camera now.
That guy's
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
have 1 billion views because
Yeah.
everyone in the world's clipping it.
Well,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I went straight to his profile.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy looks like a lunatic.
Yeah.
But hey, all respect to him. That was
I
ballsy.
met him in Hawaii too, like first time ever meeting him.
Why?
Like,
So are those random?
Crazy
Like,
shit.
do you guys decide that like beginning of the day, like, hey, we're gonna do something like this, or is it like
it's in the moment, bro. It's been in the moment. Like
It- you
we
could
planned
tell,
some
yeah.
shit, like you said, like the water test and stuff. But
Yeah.
like sometimes, like there's one reel of me like asking like for a pizza. Like someone has like a pair of shoes and a pizza. I'm
seen
like, bro,
it.
I'm hungry as shit. How much for that pizza too?
That's
you know what
genius,
I mean? You know what I mean? So like I'm not thinking of that. A week in advance. I'm like right
DS
then and there.
pizza.
You guys just have camera set up and it's just rolling. And it's
Cameras
just,
rolling for like 8 to 10 hours. Yeah.
damn.
So
And-
let's talk about based on that. I want to talk about how much you guys have invested in yourselves too,
Yeah.
and your company before seeing the type of profits you have, right? Because I remember even meeting you guys. You guys had some social media guys with you, a team with you. So you guys started investing in yourselves earlier. So
sure.
talk about that because a lot of
Yeah.
people just think guys like you just make money. You guys don't spend money.
Right.
No.
Since day one of creating like the brand and everything, I felt like content is king. Like I wanted to make the best content, at least have like, I remember when we first posted, like I wanted to make the shoes look good. I wasn't just going to try to do like another reselling looking page. So since day one, we've always invested in, content being the thing that's going to drive us to the next level.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, that's kind of why you need like 2 hardworking, trusted partners because like we've defined our roles very early to your point, right? And it's like somebody has to be able to manage the money and all the logistics of the travel and the team and everything we're doing. And then like Chase just being like actual head empire of sneaker buying and operations, you know, is able
So that's
to
the role.
run
That's
the
the
internals
role
of the business.
Those
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
roles right there.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
COO, CEO.
Beautiful. And then when you guys are hiring, this is more like on a business side of things.
Sure.
How are you guys scaling? Like, how do you guys know, okay, it's time for another social media person. It's time for another
Yeah.
camera, you know? Like, talk to us about that. Because a lot of people have that issue.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, okay, is it time to get another person on my team?
Basically, obviously, you want to leave, I would say, like 30 to 40% net margin, like in the business. And then once you start coming again to break even, then you don't want to hire anymore, right? Then you have to maximize either whether it be your creator fund, your TikTok ad revenue,
Yep.
or like whatever money that media is actually bringing you in.
Okay.
Once you have that surplus enough to actually pay for the next person, that is when you want to invest into it.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't want to go at a loss, travel all these places. You know, got to pay for the $50 checked bag, and then something happens here and there, and it's just
Yep.
another 100 tossing on the fire.
Yep.
So you definitely want to be able to plan ahead of time, I would say. But the thing that nobody knows about our business is that we're also pushing over $5 million revenue behind the scenes to pay for any sort of content losses or growth or things like that. And it's not just a pure content creator play.
Of course.
where,
No, that's
like,
all
we're
momentum
in.
when you get there.
Yeah.
That's like
Right.
you're making money, you're spending money, but you got to keep making more with what you have.
Exactly.
Like you're saying.
Okay, but hold on a second. That's a big number, bro. Okay? For some people, that's a big fucking number, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to touch on that quickly. When we met you guys, where were you revenue-wise?
Sure.
And where are you today?
So if I take 30 seconds just to fast forward back, right before we met you, we were doing 50K a month, we said.
Yeah.
Which is still like
Pretty good.
That's amazing.
Pretty good. You have something here, right?
Yeah.
Invest into it. Pour gas.
Yes.
Into December of 2022, then we went into a live auctions and online selling based model. Started pushing the ads, like I said, did our first 500K in 1 month, December. Sold 500 plus cherries, Jordan 11s,
And lost and founds.
lost and founds.
Wow.
Good one.
Then into the next year when we met you guys, we ramped up to 1.7 million
Okay.
total rev. After that, year two, full year two, 5.8 million. So 300% growth.
Nice.
Now basically we were operating about 18% margin total. So super thin, razor thin margins.
Yeah.
Again, when you travel a lot of places,
Yeah.
Of course.
you can't lose. You can't fuck up.
Okay.
You can't lose things, whether it be money or people take things from you. We had some hardships as well.
Fuck.
Got robbed $70,000 in the middle of the night in between that 1.7 to 5.8 million growth. So really probably lost about 3 months of revenue growth just
Wow.
trying to get back on our feet, moving offices. Something a lot of people don't know. Made NBC News, nationwide news,
Come
everything
on.
like that.
What happened?
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so it was
Jeez, okay.
three guys, middle of the night. I think it was March 28th was the exact day because I remember it.
I was out of the country.
Out of the country on his one vacation.
They must have known.
Fucking
They
terrible.
must have known.
So inside job between the alarm installation company knew that 2 days later that the alarms would actually be going in. They were able to track it back within one of the affiliates, but obviously like couldn't prove it, whatever. 5-6 months, like out 70K. So we at least got like half back from insurance. But they only pay you for like your cogs. They don't pay you
Yeah,
for total
of
value.
course, of
Yeah.
course.
So again, like as a startup, super low cash. We bootstrapped the whole thing.
Yep.
Our own personal savings. It was really hard for sure.
Of course.
And we were doing at that time 300 to 400K a month. Had to shrink back down to 150, 200K a month. Still managed again to get back on our feet by Q4. Put together like a 2.5 mil rev Q4, which is pretty insane. We did 1.5 million in December alone.
Yeah.
Total sold about like 150, 200,000 units, again, behind the scenes. So most people like in the world know Chase because he's all over. But as far as like building the business,
Yeah.
me and a couple of our sales teams, we've like sold on live auctions. So they kind of like know us from that sort of the business.
I want
right?
to talk about that
Yeah.
quickly. That's an interesting because I remember even at VCon we were talking about that, the live auction stuff, and I
Right.
was blown away because I had never heard of it.
Yep.
I don't think many people have.
We gave away a PS5 with Gary Vee, right? there.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like what, like speak about that part of the business because that's a very interesting outlet for sales.
Yeah. Wanna get
So
into it?
yeah, I mean, so basically, it's one of like the crypto things or just something up and coming trending, but it's like really time in equals money out. Every 10 seconds, every 15 seconds, think of QVC on steroids, right? We're able to just hold this water bottle. I mean, I could literally sign this water bottle and be like, hey guys, like it's dated today and this is the MBH podcast day. Probably go for like 20, 30 bucks just because it has value, whatever.
Crazy.
And we can just sell hundreds of units per hour. I can go to any store here in Brickell that's like, you know, marked down or whatever, and literally just buy probably like 100, 200 units and find a way to just double their money. because of this live auction. Just
So you're
sort of
putting one
trend.
product on the auction at a time.
One product at a time.
It's you guys showing it to the camera and being
Showing
like,
it to the
hey,
camera.
this is for sale
There's
right
a
now.
minimum
And people
purchase?
are.
No minimum purchase at all. Literally started from $1, can sell it all the way up to $12,000.
Okay, so how wouldn't you, let's say, lose money on some?
You can.
Oh yeah, you take L's.
okay,
You take
Fair
L's.
I was like,
else.
wait, hold on.
But it's
Yeah.
a volume game, right?
Okay.
So like you make the $5 to $10 margin per item, and then you do it 300-400 times in a row.
True.
Interesting.
So that's what we did over December. That's how we hit our 1.5 mil because
Okay.
we actually had like a lot of this one product, like this clothing brand, that we had just probably 20,000 units of. So we were just holding that thing up and not changing it so that we could just keep hitting the auction button.
Cool.
Go, go, go.
Selling
what I
all
mean?
of them.
Yeah.
And they were all just in the back room. And we had 15 to 20 like operations employees just shipping them simultaneously from the day before as I'm selling more. So we've done 48-hour streams,
I was-
120K
Yeah,
revs.
stream
I was
1,000
just about to
turning-
ask you that.
Turning it off.
What's the
40
long? Yeah,
hours
so
stream.
40 hours straight. I was just about to ask you, what's the longest stream you guys have done?
48 hours. It was all 4 of the exec team just stepped in at different times. I think I slept maybe 2 to 3 hours in that 48
Gotta get this
hours.
guy some sleep, man.
And yeah, it was 6,800 units.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2 days span. It was nice. Yeah, I made like 30-40K in 2 days.
So is that something that you guys still concentrate on? Is that something you guys still do?
For sure. It's like definitely the biggest part of our business, right? When
Okay.
it comes to the revenue and everything. Like that's what we've created the business on, right? To be able to fund everything that we're doing now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people don't know behind the scenes. They see Chase 4-hour line in Australia, crazy, but like we're basically using the businesses that we've built behind the scenes to fund where we are going
Yes.
as a brand.
Yeah,
of course,
I'm
yeah.
trying to separate myself, right, from like anybody that can just be a reseller, just take the shoes off your feet, sell them to anyone in the world. Because at the end of the day, like it's something called like key man risk. Like if there's like one person that goes down, like what is this business? You know,
True.
if we get sick for 2 weeks, have COVID, whatever it is, like you know what can you even sell this thing for? You have
course.
to build a long-term brand.
Well, you have to build something that's gonna last without you guys.
Correct.
It doesn't
Exactly.
need you guys on the day to day, right? So
Correct.
I want to talk about your revenue streams because it seems like you guys have many. You know, for a sneaker company,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
looking from the outside,
Absolutely.
talk about the different revenue streams you have because I feel like for someone out there, again, the possibilities are endless, right? Like you have sneakers, but again, you're probably guys are making off TikTok now, socials as well. So talk about that.
You go first.
I mean, obviously with social media, right? We have TikTok, so almost 900K subs or followers on there. So we're bringing in revenue on that side of the thing.
Okay.
Over 5, I would say, 5 digits over like 10K
Yeah.
Amazing.
a month on
That's just straight
TikTok.
from TikTok,
Just
not even
TikTok
counting YouTube.
creator.
Come on. We'll take
YouTube Studio, obviously. Then Instagram is lacking a little bit.
Yeah. Of course.
Instagram doesn't really pay well, honestly, compared to the other two. But
No,
But
they
again,
don't
that
need
is
to.
just all like cherries on top. So like,
course.
that's the stuff that you just justify for the content growth.
There you
Yeah.
go.
As far as our actual product sales go, I would say it's probably about 70% right now D2C. So that's just like selling live auctions on our website.
Okay.
Even just like in person, people buying our t-shirts.
Okay.
And then we do wholesale. So
Yeah.
wholesale is also something that we offer 500 to 1,000 minimum order quantity of just
Wow.
like all different Nike hoodies, Essential, Supreme, Bape.
Those are like
Nike
stores.
size runs.
Stores are buying that.
Cool Kicks LA, a lot of other big
Exactly.
stores, yeah, in the industry that we work with.
Okay,
so.
cool. And how do those relationships work? Like, how do you?
Overtime, ground and pound, just like
Yeah.
you guys went to the semi-pro lacrosse
Of
game.
course.
Yeah, so it's like showing up to the shows, honestly.
Yeah.
And like really just getting your face out there, meeting people. Like just the way we stopped you, it was like, damn, these beasts, they have a podcast. Let's go do a video.
Yeah.
Same thing. Kind of talk to them, how we can help them. A lot of people don't know. They just see the coin flips that we can have access to 100,000 units in the snap of a finger.
Because you guys don't have a retail store.
Nope.
no, all e-com.
Very
just a
interesting. I know you guys did a
office.
pop-up recently, maybe like last week.
Yeah. We
Which
pop
pop-up?
up all over the place.
So you guys are thinking
Maybe the
pop-ups
SneakerCon.
over
Sneaker
over
cons,
retail, like just
Not
pop-
even pop-ups. So like we don't actually open. Oh yeah. It's with Showtime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the
yeah.
Yeah.
even like the expos and stuff like that. You're saying that's much more lucrative for you guys than having a retail store in one city.
Correct.
It is for now, for sure.
And
Like
we can see everybody instead of just having them fly to Philadelphia, which they would never do.
Of course. No, it's interesting because like you guys obviously have the funds to do it, right? And a lot of people that get into this industry, the first thing they're doing is opening up a store.
Opening up a store.
Like, bro, I need a store.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you got to look at it. You're saying they have the funds to do it, but opening a store might be more expensive.
It is
Of
low
course, of
key.
course.
Yeah, like, right, especially you want to be a good
No,
location.
that's what I'm saying.
You
I'm
got
not saying
rent.
they're not a startup, right? They have the money to say, okay, if we want a retail store, we can have it.
Correct.
And they're still saying
I
no.
just think that's like it's fucking old school. The way you guys are doing it is
Yeah,
like
it's dying.
there's nobody. And even when you look at these guys like Cool Kicks in these bigger stores, like again, people got to fly to them. Those guys are on the most poppin' streets in LA. They're probably I don't even want to know what their rent is. Where it's like their 1 month rent, you guys are hitting
Yeah.
five sneaker cons,
Right.
and it's like yeah. And then on top of that, so you're making your sales, but you're also getting the content, building the brand, not
Yeah.
just domestically, but internationally. Like it's such a different play.
The beautiful thing is like the old heads in the industry, like Cool Kicks and stuff like that. Like they're not gonna think the way you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
They don't need to go to VCon. They don't need to do that piece of content. They're already there.
They're already
so
there.
the way you
They've
guys
made
are
it.
thinking is ground level, and it's gonna you're gonna surpass them because you could look bigger online than them.
Exactly.
Without having one store.
But let me ask you a question: is there anything or any brand or any mentor that kind of led you guys in this direction, or was it just sheer, just testing
Just
what worked?
adapting, man.
Adapting,
Adapting. Like we even said in the beginning, we thought we'd have a store in Philadelphia, and then we never knew live auctions would even come to be or be this like insane thing. Luckily, we got in kind of early. A lot of people are trying to jump on now and do the same thing, and that's why we try and sell to them and let them deal with all the logistics and overhead and bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. But I would just say, like, especially talking to the people at home, like a lot of shit's gonna hit the fan at all times, and that's why it's so valuable to have a good team around you and a good partner, and like never get stuck thinking that one way is the way. And if you go buy a store or you sign a 12-month lease, you are putting yourself in a position to get stuck, and then you're gonna have to make the best with what you have.
Yep.
And you're not in the driver's seat anymore.
It's out of your control at that point.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys will have a store one day. It's just gonna be a flex at that point.
It's
Yeah,
just,
for marketing,
Miami,
yeah,
it'll just
yeah.
be a marketing
That's
expense.
it.
Like, doesn't need to sell a single thing.
That's it.
To be honest, within the next like 2 years, probably.
Sick.
For sure.
But yeah, again, like when you're gonna see 500 people in one store shopping all at the same time for the same item,
can't.
never
Nah,
gonna happen.
won't.
Can you just turn the camera on right now?
Of course.
Right. And then
So-
eventually too, like with TikTok Shop, right? We had 8,000 people in our live for SneakerCon El Paso, and it's like, all right, how do we transition those people that are watching to buy our merch, anything that we want to push? You know what I mean? So
We're actually on the
that's
white
more the
list with them,
move.
too. To
Yeah.
be like one of the #1 launching sneaker pages on TikTok Shop. So that'll be pretty
Shit.
crazy.
Okay.
Well, so
I
you
mean,
guys
bro,
are
they're
good.
obviously seeing all the engagement.
Right.
It speaks for itself. Fuck, dude.
So again, I don't know how that's gonna look. We'll be ready for it. Damn right we will be.
Yeah.
Most
We need
likely
you
going
boys
to be
here
selling
now.
our culture sneakers the most on it though, because you can like attach the actual product to the video, and if it has 50 million views, I mean, Chase just goes, "Yo, let's go, fam!" Buy the shit.
Okay, so the plan is your own products.
For sure.
100%.
Let's get
100%.
into it. Talk to us.
Thank you.
Let's-
Wait.
Well,
What?
you've been
Hold on,
waiting
one
for-
more before that. I want to know
waiting
what's
for
the
it.
current size of the team. I'm always curious because
Yes.
okay, you're saying you're doing about 5
5.8 last year, about to do lifetime 10 mil in a few months.
Okay, so knowing that, what's like? I want people to hear. Okay, you're bringing in that much revenue. What's the size of your team?
Absolutely. Last December, I had up to 30 employees. Didn't have my processes fine-tuned whatsoever. Basically thought that we could just sell till the cows come home and just need more bodies packing at all times. I was wrong. We didn't have our organization really mapped out. Didn't have the sales employees on commissions, which directly tied them to actually the efficiency of the product getting out versus a couple people talking about like the NBA playoffs or something going on like, while they're packing. And it's like, maybe lunch breaks here and there. And, like amazing people that came through and worked for us. But at the end of the day, it was not the most cost efficient at all. Lost a lot of money learning that lesson. Now have gotten us down to about 8 to 12 employees, from full-time to part-time to remote editors, things like that. And we are literally operating at our highest profit margins in company history.
Yeah.
And with the strong brand you have, I'm imagining many people want to work with you guys.
Absolutely.
Right?
DMs are
Can
flooded.
you attest your online brand to like bringing in some good employees that you've had?
Absolutely. And I mean, you need people, right? Like I actually just met Alex Hormozy a few days ago in Vegas at his headquarters.
You were telling me, yeah.
Some of their core values are like competitive greatness, obviously honesty,
Yeah.
but people that just like want to buy in to actually the long term. And everybody wants to sit on these yachts, right? Everybody
Yeah.
wants to pop the bottles, but nobody wants to do the work to get there.
Of course.
Everyone wants to take the flicks.
Of course.
But, they don't want to stay up till 1 a.m. when they fucking woke up 4 a.m. the morning before.
True.
And finding those sort of people that you can trust and you know that will go to battle for you no matter where you are in the world, it's definitely hard. A lot of people can say it in an Instagram DM for sure.
Of course.
Well, we asked the part of like, has your social brand helped you bring in employees? Because we preach that all the time to like businesses of like, you know, we're talking like we have good friends who run like insurance businesses that are multi-million-dollar insurance businesses, and they're like, we don't need social media. And we're like, okay, even if social media for you isn't to go and get clients, maybe that's where you find good employees
Right.
because they found you
come
there
to you,
For
right?
sure.
right? So and that's the thing about social media. I think people are lacking in terms of like understanding the use. There's so many use cases for it. It's not always sales. There's other ways to build your team through that, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure your DMs are flooded. Fuck, there's probably some really good people in there. You just got to go through the thousands
Go
of
through all-
DMs.
If you want an editor, you post, hey, looking for an editor.
Correct.
Right.
Done.
And you get an editor.
You have one.
You know, so it's like those are the benefits from working on your brand. This is what we're trying to say, right? We preach
Yeah,
this to
absolutely.
everyone, you know. So
Okay, let's talk about the shoe. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the
let's-
product. Let's go.
Somebody throw me the
Fi-
shoe from behind
Fire
the
Sin, it's
scenes.
right there. It's
We
right
got
next
the
to you,
shoe?
bro.
There it is.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
go.
go fast in that thing, eh?
Yeah, you can do anything in this thing.
So this
Wow.
is one of the 5 SKUs.
Okay. Oh.
We
5
went for a
SKUs.
running shoe. I think you should tell them about like what's just
Yeah,
in
talk
right
to
now.
us.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like right now, when it comes to the market, people really want just like a trainer or a runner shoe that is comfortable. Like
Yep.
comfortability is like number one right now.
Yep.
It used to be 3-4 years ago, I need the latest pair of Jordan 1s, right? Or whatever TikTok was pushing in the algorithm. But that's why we want to adapt, right? I wanted to make something that could be wearable to anyone, right? Your mom wears it, your grandma, but you guys are going to wear it and your boys are going to wear it because it looks cool and also it's comfortable. So that was the main like reasoning behind the shoe
So
and
sick.
what we're doing.
Facts.
But
Those are clean. Like I could like those are like dailies, but I could also rip a run in those
Exactly.
easily.
People are like, it's the most comparable to OnCloud. Like,
Yeah.
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 You've seen
Yeah.
that. They are dead ass comfortable. I cannot wait for people to actually get them. And like, yeah, if you can squeeze the bottom too. This is prototype 2 actually. So the
Okay.
finalized one's coming in September. September 1's the launch.
What does this process entail?
It's like a year worth.
Yes.
Literally.
There's a reason why people don't go down this path again. And there's so many
looks so
R&D
comfortable.
costs.
You see those?
And there's just so many hidden costs. You can see the culture hit on the side and then also on the tongue. The final one will be also on the insole.
Yeah.
But we're doing white in that SKU and then a black one or the same one. And then we have like a mocha brown and a different SKU as well. And
Yeah.
we also own the rights to the patents of the shoe, which is a whole other
Boom. That's
These
the
just
business, baby.
look like
So-
comfort. Like I
There
just
you go,
look at this,
bro.
I'm like, oh bro, I'm gonna be
Right?
comfy as hell.
Yeah.
And I agree with you though. Sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, bro, when I look at shoes nowadays, I'm just looking for comfort, bro.
I'm at that age right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm almost
no, no.
30, you know?
I'm like,
So-
bro, I'm like, dude, I'm taking a walk with my girl. I gotta go for a run. I'm like, I want to be comfortable. Now, obviously, listen, there's moments where you're gonna
Right.
get swagged out,
Gotta
you're gonna look
step out.
fresh, whatever. But like, bro, on a day-to-day basis, like, I'm not trying to rock Jordan 1s on a day-to-day, bro. Like, I
For
want to be
sure.
comfortable, bro.
And this is what the market says, right? They want to pay $110 for a shoe. They don't
Yeah.
want to pay $300 for a
Facts.
high top that
Facts.
sucks and their ankles hurt the next day.
True,
Okay?
true.
Again, you can wear it to the gym, you can wear it to the mall, you can go on a nice date, take your girl out to lunch,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and also work out in it. So it's like people want to spend that easy Benny at all times,
Yeah.
and they don't want to have to pay triple for that.
And you make a good point. Like you're speaking about On, for example. Like there's a reason they're blowing up and doing well because they're giving
Exactly.
people what they want.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right?
Kane footwear, comfortable,
Yeah.
cool, trendy brand.
I got a pair.
Just
I got a
look at
pair
what's
inside.
working.
I got a pair inside that room
got
right
the
now.
Asics.
There you go.
Yeah.
The
Asics,
that-
Asics
one
are
of the-
mooning right now.
Yeah.
So like even that, like when I saw that change in the markets from like people going from Nikes and Jordans to the ASIC movement, I'm like, all right, well, this trend's probably here to stay for a little
Dude,
bit.
I wear my
'cause-
Asics every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
They're just
I have
comfortable, bro.
I have a pair of Kane and Asics behind that door.
You're right.
Like,
Yeah.
literally.
How long did it take to design, like, to get this here
To
today?
get
Yeah.
to that point,
Yeah.
what was it, like 8
9
months?
Yeah.
Okay, and how does it
And that's
start?
sample 2. I actually have a 10.5 in my size that I wore all around Australia.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
it's
The other
comfy
one's
as hell.
fire.
People
too.
giving you looks or what?
Oh,
People
yeah.
Shit.
The other silhouette is even nicer than that one,
is
in my
dope bags,
opinion.
bro.
So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you a question though. Like, I want to understand Inception. When do you guys say, okay, like let's invest in this? And then I want people to understand the process and the cost behind that.
Of course. I think we've been talking about this for like a year or two off and on and like what we're really building towards, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, 50 to 100K to just even get the ball rolling.
Fuck.
It's not cheap at all.
It's more than I thought you were gonna
That's-
say, bro.
That's why a
Straight
lot
up.
of people don't get involved.
To get that here today.
Correct.
Yeah.
Shipping isn't exactly cheap.
Yeah.
If you want to go for 1,000 units ish, which is what we're dropping, right? You got to constantly change the mold, constantly make it like actually comfortable. Even the final one is, I think, an extra like $2,000 based upon like the final changes we made. And like we had like, I would say maybe 10 total colors and SKUs, and then narrowed it down from our audience and did a lot of polls to get it to 5.
Okay.
And then you got to decide quantities, sizing, everything like that. It's a lot of money, and you got to bet on yourself to being able to pull it off, right? Of
course.
A lot
And
of
it's
people
overseas.
get stuck holding the bag.
So those are going to be priced for what?
110.
110.
Nice.
And let me ask you a question. Design wise, like I look at it and say like is someone fucking drawing this thing? Like how do you actually get the design like started? Like that's probably a stupid question, but I'm
Not at
curious.
all.
No, definitely. It's so with the manufacturer, right? Like, especially when we're talking about things that are patented, right? Because we obviously don't want to get sued by anyone. Like, we have to come up with something unique, right? That he had certain designs that I could like kind of basically craft and create into my own way
Cool.
of thinking. This is, if we move this, add this will be good. This color with this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like even that took like a month, you know, just trying
For
to
sure.
narrow down what SKUs we wanted to do, what the actual like shoe was going to even look like.
So they give you like basically, hey, here's like some stuff you can start working off of, and let
Exactly.
us know kind of the changes you want to make.
Exactly. Here are the
Interesting.
patents that we've already created that we want to push for your brand, like your brand specifically.
Yeah.
And here you go. Like this is like 10 or 20 models that we can go from. And
And
go from
finding
there.
a manufacturer, what was that process like? Because I
Tough.
can imagine
Yeah.
overseas, dude, how many fucking manufacturers there are, right? So
Yeah,
finding
I
a
mean,
good
think
one.
about the different
Yeah.
China manufacturers for all of Nike and Adidas and Puma and all them.
Yeah.
Very hard.
For
With
sure.
Competitive costs. We did have a pretty good friend that put us in touch. So he actually was able to fly from Hong Kong to meet us.
Yeah, came to the
Sick.
office and everything.
Oh, he
Sick.
was serious.
Yeah.
He
wasn't
was
playing
very
games.
serious.
So-
He sees our brand, you know what I mean? And
course.
he sees,
Exactly.
you know, the work we put in the past 5 years or 4 years with the,
And the
with the
potential.
company.
So let me ask you guys this: if this is something that you guys are going to go strong with, your own brand, your own products,
Yep.
would there be other sides of the business that you let go of?
I think there's other sides of the business that we sacrifice time to put into the long-term plan
Okay.
and forever goal. It's very similar to other big brands, right?
Yes.
Like Barstool or Full Send makes Happy Dad, something like that. They're building a community, they're building a family, and then what do? Kyle's like, all right, let's just put a big company together and smack it all over the world. And
Yep.
it's like, that's what we're doing.
course.
People are going to want to actually wear these shoes that have never heard of us, and I cannot wait to meet those people.
Of course.
Because they're
gonna
going
be
to see
sick.
the targeted ads from our favorite coin flipper right
Yeah.
here, and they're going to be like, fuck, that looks comfortable, and I saw this guy wearing it, whatever.
course.
We got a couple Eagles on the board of advisors as well. I'm going to have them like doing some training sessions wearing them and things like that.
Of course.
And that's going to be our legacy, right? Of
course.
10 years from now, people aren't going to remember maybe the road bumps and the live auction guys and all the things in between, but they're going to see the culture sneakers at top 10 retailers all across the world, and they're going to be like, damn, I remember when they were
So,
talking about
so the
this.
goal is that everything is just going to be about your product. So that's what I meant. So are you going to still resell sneakers and buy sneakers at that
Potentially
point?
to fund the expansion of
Okay.
our product.
Right.
Because we know
But-
how to make money like an ATM machine with that.
But if it gets to that point, I shouldn't say if, when it gets to the
when,
point
yeah.
that your products are the main thing,
Then we let it go.
Yeah, maybe you let it go. Hey, listen, if it's still lucrative, it's there. Maybe that portion of the business you sell,
Right.
or
But that's
whatever
all
the
the
case
important
contacts that
too.
I've been making
Exactly.
over the past
Yeah.
5 years. But honestly, this is literally the roadmap of Phil Knight. Like,
Yeah.
he literally was reselling sneakers until the point where Nike got to the point where it was like, all right, manufacture his own product, being able to just sell that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took
It's,
away all
it's
the
similar
reselling.
even to Dom Chambrone,
Yeah.
the surgeon. You guys know the surgeon.
Yeah, the shoe
surgeon.
surgeon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
He-
fire, bro.
Yeah, he's
crazy
a boy.
work.
He kind of started doing the same thing. He obviously does something very different now. But he
Yeah.
started with,
Well, he was
with-
doing the customizing, and
Selling,
now he's been making his own products, and that's really been like a big focus for him. But I
Yeah.
feel like, damn, like it's. I mean, listen, I love to hear, like, we love hearing people like reaching for goals at that level, like
Right.
to go against Nike or these big boys. Like it's
Let's
not
go, baby.
easy. And by the way, I want to ask this question: have you guys ever taken outside investment, or has this been all bootstrapped?
We have just recently, yeah.
Nice, congrats!
So-
I'm gonna say congrats.
Thank you.
Let's
Go,
very
baby.
much.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
I'll make the sound.
Just recently raised at a $21 million valuation.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is definitely some cash injection to help us
Let's
scale
go.
to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Something we definitely been thinking about for a long time. Again, we've been in total growth startup mode, hockey stick, 300%. and that came with a lot of like losses along the way.
Yep.
Consolidating some of those and then really putting it into the revenue model now that's pumping 34%.
So let me ask you a question. In terms of raising that capital, did you guys care if it was strategic capital or
100%.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's always
Money.
there's always like a line there where it's like we just give us the money because we know what to do with it, or people are like, well, although we know what to do with the money, I also want somebody strategic who's gonna bring me contacts or whatever the case may be, right?
Absolutely. There's people that have thrown cash at us like at a couple
Yeah.
different places, like, and it's not just to like flex or whatever. Like it's like sometimes it would help here and there, but long term, again, you don't know what their goals are. You don't know like
Can't sell your soul.
no.
No,
So you need
that's
someone
happened to
bought
us.
in, just like the employees we were talking about. I'm sure with you guys. Of
course.
We've had some cash thrown, but we never took it just because it was like strategic. It needs to be strategic.
Absolutely.
Has to be the right partner, you know.
Correct.
Who
Well-
sees the vision?
At this point too, it's like at the end of the day, people will hear, oh fuck, 5.7, 5.8 million. Like, oh, they're made it. You guys are like, bro, that's pennies in a bucket compared to where we expect to be. So you're looking and saying we're still early. So anyone who comes on board, again, they have to see the vision of what we want to do
Right.
and be on board with it. Right. So let me ask you a question in terms of the raise in that process, because we're actually kind of in the middle of it right now. Did you bring somebody in to like mentor you on that process, or was it just kind of like you had you had an idea of how to run it and do it? Because that's an important piece. Like selling a piece of your company, to whatever
yeah,
extent
Sean.
is.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean. Yeah, no, Sean. There's honestly a person here in our office who was running an upstairs floor. Like we're on the first floor of our warehouse, and there was a fourth floor. And this guy's name's Sean. He's like ran what's the name of the
big hedge fund or
It's
something.
it was a pharmaceutical company, and he like came down and like asked me like a question in regards to the business, and I was like, yeah, how about you just come down? I showed him the landscape of our business, the operations side, and he's like, have you guys ever thought about raising like capital? And we're like, yeah, but we're just looking for the right person. And then he really has been a good mentor for us on like
He
just
was
the whole
interested
process.
himself.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
were like, damn, right, this rich guy is like pretty interested. His son played lacrosse, and Chase, we never even said it, is a two-time captain of
there
Michigan
he goes.
lacrosse.
Okay. Okay.
This is my head right here.
Okay.
Got an athlete here.
So it's actually crazy, bro. The amount of like Go Blue like connections that we've had.
Yeah.
Like Brandon Graham, again, he's on our board of advisors. Like
That's crazy.
Michigan fam right there.
Crazy.
But this investor guy had a son who played lacrosse and like knew who Chase was from like Googling him and watching videos on YouTube or whatever. So that helped for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
And
what did he teach you though?
Taught us how to actually like evaluate our company.
Okay.
And
Right.
like then like look like how to look for what strategic partners and sort of answer their questions.
Okay.
And was it one main person? Was it a couple people? Because that's another thing. It's like someone wants to
Family
come in.
office.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Right on.
So it was a family office of like, but again, we did have talks with bigger banks and people that, might have been like a greater team of, I would say 10 to 20. The team that we ended up working with though is about 3 to 5 people.
Cool. And strategic as long. And at the end of the day, like I look at it and it's like I look at you two guys and your team as like a team of people who, if given the money, when given the money, know what to do with it.
Exactly.
So it's like it's just a matter of getting people on board who see the vision, have some contacts. Sure, all those things obviously help. But you guys are like, bro, just give me the cash. like, let's fucking go. Like I know
You're buying
exactly what to
people,
do.
and, like we had opportunities sitting there like on a platter and we just couldn't make money on them because we didn't have enough cash like in the bank, right?
It's activate. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the whole thing. And I do hate going back to like just the Nike example, but I know people here watching are like, oh, these guys think they're coming for Nike, but like I cannot wait to prove it right.
Yo, watch.
I
Let's
cannot
go.
wait.
Part 3, part 4,
Let's go.
episode, part 5.
If I actually just give you the raw data, it's like he said, Blue Ribbon Sports, 1964, they were founded. Their first year, times were different. They did $8,000 total sales.
That was like $8 million back then.
Correct.
Probably.
Second year, they did $55,000 total sales. And they didn't actually become Nike till 7 years later. We're
Yeah.
sitting here on this couch 2 years since we started the company.
Crazy.
2 years since we started the company. 7 years later, they became Nike.
I
Right?
can only imagine.
And then it was
I can only
only-
imagine another 2 years.
I think they did their first 10 mil 10 years after Blue Ribbon Sports was founded. So it was 1974. And we just did 10 mil in 2 years. So I think, granted that we have the most like forward trending sales channels on our side, live auctions, the internet, can literally sell to all 7 continents, partnerships with SneakerCon, right, to be able to meet all these people all around the world.
Of course.
And then my little friend named AI, who's probably stronger than like their
Love
first
AI.
500 companies, 500 employees
Yeah.
combined,
Yeah.
right? Like times are different, and it's going to be hopefully some of the family watching here today, or just like people in our generation that are actually going to capitalize on all the tools we have
Yep.
to be able to like chase dreams, like literally
Exactly.
creating a sneaker line.
Yeah. Well, you let me know when to throw out all my Nike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear all
now it's
culture.
good.
When the kick's gonna be ready.
September 1st, 2024.
Can we put a pre-order in now or what?
absolutely.
You got to join that email subscription list.
Absolutely.
is? I got you.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I'll be rocking
Link
those,
in
bro. I'm
bio,
not even.
brother.
I'm not even. I'll be rocking.
Well,
those
friends
head-
and family. They'll be friends and family
All right.
pairs.
Oh,
You guys
listen, bro,
definitely
we'll
get
pay.
yours.
We always support anything. We'll pay for it. It's not
Yeah.
even about it. I just want to make sure I get my hands on them because I know they're gonna fucking sell out. I'm gonna be sitting here paying $3,000 for these fucking shoes that were $100. Okay, before we get to our famous question, we're trying to do this thing on the show where we ask, our guests to manifest something for themselves. Could be personally, could be for the business. Up to you. So. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to
On cam,
manifest.
this is gonna be
Because the reason we do it is because you can clip it
Yeah.
back 3 years from now, 4
20
years from now,
you know?
whenever
For
it
sure.
happens,
Want me
Think
to
about
read
it.
off?
Yeah, go ahead.
The shoe line is going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good.
Tell us how huge though.
Yeah, how big? Like, what are we talking? Give us specifics.
Numbers.
I'm thinking 1 million units sold by like 2035.
Damn.
And that's probably, I would say, a low bet, to be honest with you. I do have plans to also get into the CPG space. So
Okay.
whether it be a drink or a snack or something like that with our audience, I think it's press play. That's as far as this business goes. We're going to have this business, I think, for the rest of our lives, at least some portion of it, and continue investing into other things. I'm big into real estate as well. I have 3 or 4 rental properties right now. Definitely want to scale that up to 25 to 50 rental properties. And once I can have that around the Miami area,
There you go.
Yeah.
we will see the MBH boys and the Culture boys coming down this nice river right here.
On a mega yacht.
Mega yacht. I still got a couple names in play.
Do you?
Yeah.
And we got some too. That's how I know you're a real one because we do the same thing. We walk around here, we're like, okay, what are we gonna name the yacht? Like, you have to have the names lined up, bro.
course.
Bro.
You have to.
Since
Just-
day one,
yeah.
this kid has been talking my ear off about, bro, we're going to get the yacht. We're going to get the yacht. And I'm
Yes.
like, at this point, I'm like, I don't even want the yacht.
By the time you get the yacht, you're gonna be like, oh, like I feel like, I've had this
exactly.
yacht.
You've had
man.
the yacht.
It is what Gary Vee says
Yeah.
with buying the jets,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Same thing.
I will be totally fine, and I love my life, and I'm blessed, and I'm super thankful for everyone that's just been part of this journey. And if I die tomorrow, I lived a good life, like
course,
truly.
of course.
But getting
the
on that
yacht.
yacht, popping the champagne,
Come
Yeah.
on. Throwing the money off the yacht.
it'll be fun.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
It'll be
you gotta
fun.
do it like that.
For sure.
So that's what we're going to be doing, I think, probably by like 2033 to 2035. And we'll be looking up at this beautiful tower.
Well,
here
we're gonna do a part
commemorating.
2 on the yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Okay, let's
But
go.
yeah, I was going to say for me, obviously the Culture Kicks line, I think that's going to be the most, like the biggest thing for us as a brand. And I see that going millions of feet everywhere across the globe. But for me personally, like I really want to get more into the streaming side of the business, right? Like Twitch, going live on TikTok. I've noticed that being able to, be in front of a camera, be online, like people just are attracted to what I'm doing or saying. So it's like, all right, I just got to keep pushing this out as much as possible. So I'm going to be going live on TikTok a bunch. We're going to be going live on Twitch as well. So hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we can just keep growing this brand, this personal brand, Culture Kicks as well. And just get to as many people as possible.
I could see that, bro. I feel like if you guys set up and went live during those negotiations as well, like that wouldn't even hurt the clips.
No,
Like, the
we
clips
We
would
just
still
got
go crazy.
20,000 followers while being live doing it last week.
That's what I'm
Slowly
saying.
turning it on.
Yeah.
And they're coming from literally all over the world.
Everywhere.
That's the beautiful
People
part.
can't
That's the
imagine.
beautiful part. man.
Even like a Twitch stream of like setting up and like waking up for the day, like getting everything
Doing the
lined
whole
up.
IRL
bro,
part of it.
people
Yeah,
would
yeah.
love that, bro.
Yeah.
I'd tap into that 100%. I'd love to
sure.
see
You
how
gotta
it
think how many
happens.
people are watching that also just like want to follow your footsteps.
Literally.
Like, hey, I want to do something like these guys. Maybe it's not going to be exactly the same,
Yeah.
but I want to learn from these guys. So even
sure.
think about the educational side of it too.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
education, the entertainment of it all.
Both
Like,
of it.
all of it. So that'll definitely be
Okay,
a big
so let me
thing.
ask you this: is there like a dream collaboration with like a celebrity or a big brand out there that you would want to do, that you've been thinking of or you want to bring to life?
It's funny because he just said he has to get the Culture shoes before they sell for $4,000. And the former president, Donald Trump, actually, we released his sneaker.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
5-6 months ago. We didn't even put that part of the story telling you guys, but he released the first ever presidential sneaker. And Chase was actually one of the spokespeople who like told him.
I brought
at
him
the
on
event.
stage.
Come
Literally
on.
walked him
Wild.
out on stage.
What's our guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Come on now.
So we got to meet him, and he only released 1,000. We have 2 of like the Friends and Family 50, which is super cool.
Sick.
And we sold the first pair for $9,000.
Yeah.
$9,000.
Nice.
And then literally like 30 minutes later, they're going for $5K to $20K on eBay.
Wow.
So that was a pretty cool collaboration.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
hell yeah.
okay, so that's been done though.
So
Yeah,
Trump
yeah.
checked off.
Trump's checked.
Yeah.
Anyone for the future?
I mean, I really want to work with all like types of, I would say, sneaker influencers. Like,
Okay.
I want to build that side of the business so that we can just keep collaborating with everyone in the sneaker market, right? The whole niche, so that we can again eventually sell out these Culture Kick shoes to everyone. So a lot of people who are just big, like Cool Kicks, we'll be doing a lot of collaborations with them very soon. We've already talked to the guys over there, so
Sick.
that'll be happening when we go to SneakerCon LA in Vegas.
boy.
Okay.
And I think just moving forward. I mean, honestly, anyone who like we feel like our brand can resonate with,
Hell yeah.
for sure.
Hell
I
yeah.
think I might get roasted in the comments for saying this, but like, cheesy or not, like I cannot wait to collaborate with people that have like learned from Culture Kicks and like been inspired
Yeah,
and
of
built their
course.
own businesses because of it.
Yeah.
And people come up to me all the time at events and Chase, and they're like, I actually went and did X because I saw you guys like fight through this. and
That's the best
conquer
part.
Those are the
that.
best ones,
That's
bro.
what keeps you going.
That's
what
who I
actually
want to
keeps
work
you
with.
going. Yep.
Like that's really like the reason why like you wake up every single morning or like you see the blood right like
Yeah.
come down your fingers or whatever, like just working at this thing.
Of course. Well, you can get like you
Creating.
can get 1 million views, dude, and like one view, that one person, you can change their whole life.
Exactly.
You know, so amazing, guys. Straight up.
Yeah.
Killing
Well,
it.
well, listen, we have one final question.
The
And I
best
hope
one.
you guys geared up for this one, all right?
Oh man,
I
We
can
are
imagine.
the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. I want to know if you guys believe money buys happiness.
Absolutely.
absolutely, for
Yeah.
sure. I feel like with money, right? I mean, basically like happiness. I don't know, like you have
Convenience.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words, honestly. But yeah,
It buys
money buys
convenience.
happiness.
Yeah.
Buys
It's like-
opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, which eventually will probably lead to happiness.
I literally just said to Dylan on the way here. It was like, because these lights are terrible, man, in Miami sometimes. But we wanted to extend the trip in the Uber like 5 minutes more down the street. It's like, all right, they ran me an extra $7, but like I need food before we're eating here. I'm like, God, just have enough money to do whatever the fuck you want,
Yeah.
can't you?
Yep.
Extend the trip. But like you can also give it back, right?
Of course.
Steve will do it. Absolutely blessing people. Like,
Yeah.
shout out Steve, man. Literally, like the last video he did was insane. And it's just like the actual joy you can bring to people's lives and just put them on a path to success because of like the hard work you put in. Of
course.
So like it might not buy happiness for you, or maybe again if you obsess over it too much, put you in a bad spot in life. But it can buy happiness for other people that like haven't been able to get on their feet for one reason or another.
Another big piece, and I think you guys fall perfectly into this category, is like when you enjoy the way you make money, it's even sweeter. You know, it's not like you guys are on OnlyFans selling your souls, right? And you're like,
Souls,
fuck, and all of a
good
sudden,
fucking
3 years
ROI,
later, now you're like,
Bad, eh?
I mean, hey, listen, whatever. You want to be
bad
those
for some
people.
toes,
Teach his own, you know.
But you know what I mean? Like you guys truly love what you do,
Yeah.
right? So that's why when the money comes in, it's sweeter. Like it just feels better, right? And you never got to look back at like, fuck, I have all this money now, but like, where did my life go? It's like
Right.
you enjoyed the journey, like you
Yeah.
enjoyed the way you made it too, which made it like so you never had really a shitty moment. Yes, there's L's that you take and things like that, but you end up loving those L's, looking back at them, right? You're like, fuck, we wouldn't have done this if that didn't happen,
Yep.
right? So that's why I think people got to understand like making the money is beautiful. It's an amazing thing, and what you do with it is awesome. But you got to enjoy the way you make it,
It's the
right?
journey,
The
baby.
ride.
Yes.
If you don't take the jump, it's going to be sitting in front of you the whole time. If you don't go after it,
Yep.
you're always going to just wonder, like, what if you did, right? And
Yep.
all the pain, no matter what, all the no sleep, it is all worth the one time that you get that one big win.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get back to zero, that one fucking big win, that is like a life feeling that you cannot feel in any other walks of life. I swear to
facts.
God. So anybody watching that, love you guys. Take the jump.
That's it, baby.
Boys, thank you guys so much for coming and doing this.
Yeah, you guys are
honestly,
amazing, bro.
Honestly, it's been a
guys.
pleasure, and I already know if we could sit down in a year from now. I'm scared of the number you're gonna tell me in terms of revenue. I'm scared to see what these kicks end up selling for. I'm fucking scared for it
Better
all.
get them retail, eh?
Oh, you get them retail, brother.
But
That's going to be botting the release.
I'm buying wholesale, guys.
no, seriously, appreciate you guys, and I'm excited to see where this
Guys,
takes
go check
you.
them out if you haven't.
Yes.
That's for sure. Everything's plugged in below.
Yep, and
They're the real ones, though.
yeah.
This is what it is. Linking with genuine people in the world. I mean, it's amazing.
Brother. Appreciate that, man.
All love.
Guys, if you made it this far, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Check these boys out. You've seen them already, so I don't have to say too much. And on that note, we are out.